What's going on, everybody? It's EricRayweather back here, and in today's video I'm going to be going over the brand new information and specs for the new Xbox Series X console that's set to drop later this year. From time to time I like to cover the new consoles and the information that we're getting on it. I did previously cover some stuff about the PS5 a while back when those first details released. They've been pretty quiet since then. But Xbox has kind of been coming with a lot of information. Today they dropped a bunch of new information on the specs for the new Xbox Series X, including that it's going to have 12 teraflops of GPU, it's going to have quick resume for multiple games, and much more. So I'm going to break down this article here that The Verge put out. Going to kind of just read their article. I'll also have it linked below, going over what we can expect. Now, we still don't know the exact release date or the price yet. Those are kind of the two biggest things that are up in the air, but we should know pretty soon. We've heard that both Xbox and Microsoft and Sony are both kind of still debating on what the price will be. If I had to guess, I think most people also agree that they're expecting the Xbox Series X to probably come in at about $500. Just seems to be like the likely scenario. And we know the release date will be sometime later this year during the holiday season, but we don't have that exact date just yet. But let's get into the new article today. A bunch of new specs dropped. This gaming console sounds insane, really powerful, and something I'm definitely excited to get my hands on. So it says here, Microsoft is revealing more specifications about its next generation Xbox Series X hardware today. The biggest new confirmation is that the Xbox Series X will include 12 teraflops of GPU performance, which is twice what's available in the current Xbox One X and 8 times the original Xbox One. Says this type of performance puts the Xbox Series X beyond most mid-range graphics cards, and it's an impressive jump for the game console. It certainly shows that the next-gen Xbox and PS5 are going to go far beyond the Xbox One X and the PlayStation 4 Pro. So that's a pretty huge leap right there, pretty huge jump. Obviously, you're going to notice this right away when you get your hands on the system, just in terms of the performance of these of how the games are going to play, and it's something I think a lot of us are excited for. We haven't really experienced what feels like a huge jump since we went from like the PS2 to the PS3 or the original Xbox to the 360, and it feels like in some ways we're just at that point now where you're not going to notice big jumps because of how advanced we are. But it sounds like going forward for this next generation, we might actually see a pretty significant leap, probably more so than we saw when we went into the last generation. So pretty exciting. It says here the Xbox Series X delivers a true generational leap, which we were just talking about, in processing and in graphics power, with cutting-edge techniques resulting in higher frame rates, larger, more sophisticated game worlds, and an immersive experience unlike anything seen in console gaming. So just when I hear stuff like that, specifically the larger, more sophisticated game worlds. Now, if you played the latest Red Dead, right? That was a pretty huge world. That was pretty crazy. So just imagine next generation. The first thing I think of is Grand Theft Auto, right? Grand Theft Auto 6. What does that look like? Because Grand Theft Auto 5 was crazy. The latest Red Dead was insane. Imagine what Grand Theft Auto 6 is capable of in these type of worlds. It's going to be something really exciting to see. It says here Microsoft has previously revealed hardware accelerated DirectX ray tracing and VRS and things of that, and the company says that it has patented its own form of VRS. Rather than spending GPU cycles uniformly to every single pixel on the screen, developers can prioritize individual effects on specific game characters or important environmental objects. This technique results in more stable frame rates and higher resolution with no impact to the final image quality. So, I mean, basically what they're saying here is we're going to get better frame rates than we've ever gotten at a higher resolution, but it's not going to have any impact to what you're seeing on screen, the limitations that we have now, whereas the game can only move so fast, the worlds can only render out so quickly. Those things aren't going to be an issue with next generation, and you're going to see games reach a level that they just simply weren't able to reach before. It says the Xbox Series X will include a custom designed CPU and all that good jazz. Says They promise to boost load times, and nearly every aspect of playing games will be improved. The Xbox Series X will also support 8K gaming and frame rates up to 120 frames per second in games. Microsoft says it has partnered with an HDMI forum and TV manufacturers to enable auto low latency mode and a VRR on the Series X as part of its HDMI 2.1 support. This should reduce input lag and smooth out visuals in games on TV. So most of you know, if you game on like a monitor, your latency is a little bit lower. You have, less input lag, but with the new technology and what they're doing, you should also see similar effects to now actually gaming on television sets, which is pretty cool. Alongside the hardware specs, the next-gen Xbox Series X is also set to feature a quick resume feature. Microsoft used a similar feature in the Xbox One to resume games, but it's now promising to let Xbox Series X owners resume multiple games from a suspended state. That will be a big improvement for switching between games or when you resume from standby. So if you play Xbox now, if you can resume the last game you were playing. You don't have to restart the whole game over. Well, now they're saying you can do this with multiple games. So if you played a game yesterday, you played a couple games today, you can still go resume that game from yesterday without having to load the whole game up. So that is pretty cool. That's just, one of those convenience type features that you expect and you like to see whenever you kind of getting that console upgrade. Just more convenience is always a good thing. It said Microsoft is also fully supporting backward compatibility on the Xbox Series X, including original Xbox and Xbox 360 games. The Xbox maker is also branding its future Xbox game studios as Smart Delivery, meaning you can play the games on Xbox One or Xbox Series X consoles. Third-party publishers will also be able to brand their games in a similar way so consumers know how they'll work for the next-gen consoles. Microsoft is promising to share more details about the new Xbox with you in the coming months as the company approaches key dates like the Game Developers Conference next month and of course E3 in June. We're still waiting to hear more information on pricing, exact availability, next-gen launch titles, and whether a second, cheaper next-gen Xbox is coming in 2020. So, going back to the paragraph before that, though, when they talk about the backwards compatibility, obviously you like to hear that. You're going to still be able to play some of those old Xbox and 360 games, and also the Smart Delivery, which means they'll probably be releasing games that you can play on both consoles, because obviously the Xbox One X didn't come out that long ago. It's still a very powerful system. It's still a system that a lot of people are going to stick with, for a year, maybe even a couple years while the Xbox Series X is out. So, you're still going to, publishers are going to obviously be releasing games for both systems. So now having this means you'll know, hey, I can play this on the Xbox Series X or I can play this on the Xbox One X, because I do believe they share a lot of the same architecture, so it's possible to do that now, which also could, possibly bring about cross-gen play. I know we've heard things about that, around this time last year. I'm not really currently up to date on if that's like a definite thing for sure, but would be cool to see cross-gen play with the next generation. I know it's something that has been talked about a lot. So that is basically it for the new Xbox Series X stuff. Now, I'm pretty excited about it because I am an Xbox player. I'm not a real big console war type of guy. I've just, I've been with Xbox since 360. I went from PS2 to 360, and I've just stuck with them since, because most of my gaming friends I've made along the way, I didn't really play PS2 online very much. I didn't really get into online until 360. So most of my gaming friends I've met along the way are on Xbox, so I just kind of stick with Xbox. And the games I play for the most part are on Xbox, so it's not really, or the games I want to play are on Xbox, so it's not really a big deal for me. But let me know what you think about it. Are you looking more forward to the PlayStation 5, even though we don't know a lot about it yet? Obviously, we know it's going to be a banger as well. It's not like they're going to release some inferior system. It's going to be, just as good, maybe better than the Xbox Series X, but we're going to get two crazy new systems this generation. Are you excited more for the PS5? Do you want to hear more details on that? Are you grabbing the Xbox Series X, or are you one of those people that's going to be like a wait and see? You're not sure which way you're going. You want to let them kind of come out for a year, let them breathe, see the reviews, see what people are saying about each, see what the, new games could be coming for each system, because we know that's one area Sony definitely has over Microsoft right now. Are you waiting to kind of see how things unfold before you make a decision? Or are you one of those ballers that's going to be copping both systems? Because I definitely know a lot of people like that. Let me know below what you think. As always, I will see you guys next time.